Now then, just another quick video. I'm all over it tonight. I've posted on to, I think it's my Facebook, about this MRP paint, and there's loads and loads of people that have used it and made videos of it. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to show you, see if so anyway, I digress. Right, you can see I've got a Tornado here, okay, and it's a the Revell GR4, but I've left this side off, which makes it a GR1, and it's the Norway 92 scheme. So I'm just going to basically, so the colour pattern of it was that it was grey and green, but it went up to Norway and they painted over the green in white. So I'm just going to do a little bit of painting over the green in the white. Now then, I mean, as if it's not hard enough, do you know what I mean? I need to be able to look at what I'm doing here and also look above my head here. And I can see where my green is there, okay? So what am I going to do? It might sound a little bit noisy at first because it's on the edge. Let me straight away tell you what my PSI is. It's 5. And I normally run MRP paint through at round about 7. And I have got my trigger stop pushed in to limit the travel on the trigger. Okay, need to know that. My finger, you know when you go down for hair and back for paint, my finger is basically down. Okay, and not really that much back for paint. Now then, which way is the best way to go? I think it's this way. So with hardly any back pull, I'm just going to do a couple of light passes. Now I am relatively close, you can see. Where am I going up to about here, I think. And what I'm hoping that you see is just that colour modulation change. And I've got to keep looking. I'm looking up here and you can see that there is currently a very fine white line on. Now let's get in close, and I have to just be really careful with this trigger because this paint is not forgiving in the slightest. If you pull back ever so slightly with this paint, you're gonna get a spider. You're gonna get a spider's web, and if you're not sure what that is, put some paint in your colour cup, get close to a subject and pull back on that trigger with a bit of force. Okay, and you'll see exactly what I mean. So running the 0.15 needle in the harder, and I did talk about it on one of my other videos about I do love the skill and precision with the lining that it gives me. Now this paint now, MRP, this is light Arctic grey, and I am not even, well, I am pulling back obviously because you've got to do, but the mechanism on this particular airbrush is so precise, it's almost like launch control on an Audi A6. It's absolutely engineered to the nth degree. But I'm not blathering it in paint. I'm basically just going nice and steady away. MRP paint. So the comment was, you know, are you being sponsored by them? I know for a fact it were a tongue-in-cheek. It weren't supposed to be anything, you know, to hurt anybody's feelings or anything. It's because I bang on about it all the chuffing time. But the build-up is so good. Then when you use it, you do exactly the same. Where's my line? Can you even see where I'm aiming? So straight away, down for air, right, but I'm going to start sort of like up here until I get me clutch point, my biting point absolutely nailed. So I'm down on my trigger as hard as I can, and I can see it coming through. When I can see it coming through, I know where my bite is. And it gives me total control. Lost it again, so I'm just gonna get a bit of that. Look, I've got it again. I've got it. There we go. Got that line on. Barely there, to be fair. So, again, one of the questions that I do get asked about when I'm painting, what colour did you choose? How did you do that? What technique did you use? Well, I'm hoping that you can see as I'm shooting this, I'm literally doing little by little. I'm not one of those painters that puts paint down in a car painting fashion, giving it big sweeps like this. That is not what I do. Because what I tend to find when I do that is you'll get a lot of start and stop build up. Oh, look at that. Can you see it? I need to blend that now, look. So my painting style is quite literally tiny little dots of paint, little circles. I'm just filling in the gap. A little bit of sweep on that line, just to get some coverage down. Let's go with a little bit of infill. Steady. My finger, the concentration I've got at the minute with my finger, even though I'm talking, is unbelievable. I'm literally holding my breath as I come across. Steady. Need to blend that now. So even at 5 psi and with my trigger stop, I'm still quite high. Like that. Steady. A little bit, I've gone on now, look Anton, now you can see it covering. Now you can see it covering. Steady, steady, steady. Need to blend that now. And I'm hoping that you can hear the differences in air that's coming out of the front of this bad boy. Steady. Need to ease off a little bit. Now obviously when I say steady, it's because I'm talking to myself. not you lot. Okay. Now across there, that bit, across there, that's a slightly different colour. So I'm hoping again with the 0.15 in, I can get in there and show you the precision of the airbrush without having to mask off. Do I need to bear with me? Let's just get you down there a bit. I'll look like that. So I can do a bit of painting without masking, and I just want to show you. I'm hoping that you can see a little bit better now. Just the precision that you get with the 0.15. Because ordinarily, even with a 0.12, you've been masking this up to knackers. And I know you would. Alright, don't have to try and kid me on. I know how it works. I've had 0.2s. Get a bit in there, look. And this is the Harder and Steenbeck Ultra Infinity, sorry, CR Plus 2-in-1. And again, let's have a look. Let's on that little bit of yellow there, look, where I'm not so fussed because it's masked off. So let's get a line on here, very faintly. Very faintly indeed. And let's cover a little bit of this green up. And you can see, hopefully, building it up nice and steady. Don't need to mask this colour off, this green, again, because the precision is just so mind-blowingly intense on a 0.15 needle. And then I'm going to start and do some infill down here. And this paint does not just go on, it does not just leap on to your model. You've got absolute 100% control. Unless you're a fat-fingered shit like me. And every now and again I do get a little bit of a blip. However, in the main, usually pretty good. Doing a bit of infill there, coming up here. No masking tape required. How's that? Now, I might look a little bit patchy, but I can go over it again. So I've already done the wings, the yellow masking tape there. That's great because it lets me just do this to start putting a little bit of coverage down, so I know where my bite point is, and I don't need to worry about going on the areas that I don't want to paint, because I know, like I said, with this 0.15 needle, I can get in real close. I think I watched one at back end of last week. I think that Doug's Models had done a bit of a review on the MRP. And that lad was absolutely sold by this paint's properties. And I've been banging on about it now for I don't know how long. But I am literally colouring millimetre by millimetre. And it's all about that finger. Knowing when you're pulling back just a touch too much. Knowing when you need to pull back a touch harder. Or just to ease off a little bit. Okay. Now, I'm not so fussed about this part here because that will get masked off. Okay. Let's find that biting point. There it is. Now the spectacles that you see me wearing on my other videos, they're for close-up work. And as it happens, I am just painting this kit just beyond the best distance for these specs. So through my glasses, I am looking a little bit blurry, but I can still see what I need to see to get this job done. Literally just, I'm not sure if you're just following my hand or if my hand is actually on camera. I'm not painting figure of eights. It's almost like I've got the shakes. Okay, almost like I've got the shakes. And I don't mean that in a bad way. How much paint have I got? Not a lot. So you can see the green on there. Okay, and just watch me hand. All I'm doing is very, very lightly just building that up. The precision on my finger is so delicate. I'll tell you what else I'm doing as well. When I talk about down for air, I am really pushing down on that trigger. Like my life depends on it. I'm not just tickling that trigger down. I am forcing that trigger down. Because it's no detriment to the trigger. None whatsoever. But it just gives me that pivoting point. So pull back just enough and get those tiny little bits done and build that paint up ever so slowly. Like this. Not in a rush. Not trying to drown it. Just nice and steady. Building that colour up. Like this. Put line on. Coming nice and close to your line. And if you notice as well, I'm not just turning my paintbrush hand, I'm also doing a lot of control with my left hand. And actually moving the subject instead of moving my paintbrush hand. So we're a little bit of dexterity on both hands. And you can build that paint up with this MRP. to the thickness that you want, like that. Just bring that in a little bit closer for you. Okay, I'll come down outside. I'm going to just put a line on, see if I can, so I'll find my biting point while I'm moving my hand around like this, look, so that you can see. Because the last thing that you want to do is literally just come in here and start putting a line on and getting a lot of paint on where you don't need it. But this airbrush was absolutely made for this paint, and vice versa. So you can see, because I know where my biting point is on my airbrush, I can put this in like this. Okay. Running out of paint. This is just air, this now. Just going to dry this off of the patch that I've done. Over this wing. Over this one. Up the tail. Like that. Just air, no paint. Just getting that a little dry. And there you go. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Cheers.